Hello everyone, welcome back to Path for Cloud. So in last video we have discussed about our Docker Compose, right? And we have spoken about our Docker Compose YAML file where we will be talking about the versions, right? So this is just an additional bonus video on the same topic. So we have three versions supported with Docker YAML, right? So today I will take you through with all these versions, right? Yeah, before we start, I hope you guys are good enough liking my content. So I would request everyone please subscribe and support me. Okay, so let's start. So in previous video, if you remember that we have taken example of version 2, right? But before we talk about version 2 in more details, let me speak about version 1. So version 1 is something that which is the default version, right? Whenever you are writing a Docker Compose YAML, and if you are not specifying specific this version, right? Version number, so it will consider this as a version 1, right? So here you can see that example. Here I'm not giving any version. So here you can see that, okay, it will be considered as version 1, right? But yeah, there is one issue with version 1, right? Version 1 is what is happening is it is a default, right? As we discussed, if you are not specifying any version, obviously it will be considered as a default version of the Docker Swarm file, right? And apart from that, you do not have any dedicated network, right? If you want to connect your containers to a dedicated network, right? So that cannot be achieved with version 1, right? So that is the kind of limitation we can see, right? What we have with this version 1. All right. So next we have the version 2, right? So version 2 is something where you will have the all kind of same stuff, right? Only the thing is you just need to specify the version 2 and it will have a dedicated network, right? And dependency also it can resolve. What do you mean by dependency is? Dependency is something, let's say here we have the requirement like we want this to be coming on this one, right? Which you call it Redis. So here I have taken example of the previous application which we have deployed in previous video on Docker Compose, right? Same. So here let's say you have a dependency on the this one Redis, right? So this is something that if you have a dependency like on one particular container must come when another container is already up and running, right? Let's say here maybe a Redis or DB must come before you start your application so that your application can will connect to your database and you will get the connectivity. So this kind of stuff you can define on version 2. That this property was not supported in version 1. All right. So yeah, this is a dedicated network dependency, and the last one is version 3, right? So version 3 is something which will support your that uh, additionally there is no difference, right? Version 2 for me, version 2 and version 3 are same, right? Only the difference is if you want to deploy your stack on the Docker Compose, right? Then you need to use the version 3. So Docker Compose version 3 will be supported with Docker Swarm, right? So all the properties same. And if you are using version 3, so you will get one more additional property called deploy, right? Where you can define the deploy strategy or the method you want to limit your resources, you want to limit your replicas. So all that stuff you will define with the version 3. So for me, version 2 and version 3 is same. Only the difference is if you want to deploy your application on Docker Swarm cluster, then you must use version 3. And with this, you will get additional property called deploy, right? And deploy have another sub feature. Like you can specify the replicas, you can specify the limits of your container, how much CPU it will be used, how much memory it will be used. So this kind of stuff we can define with this our version 3, right? And additionally you will have more, right? If you want to use the update config, right? Update config is something like how you want to behave your application if you are deploying it, right? Like if you want to say, okay, I just want to delay my deployment of the new containers 10 seconds. That means that whenever you are doing this replica too, right? Let's say you have two replicas already up and running, and you want that, okay, uh, now I want to update my image, right? So what it will do is first it will deploy one, remove one running container, deploy the new one, and then it will take the 10 seconds. Maybe you want to check that whether everything is up and running, or there are maybe some dependency or some additional check you want to perform, right? So you can define this up delay. So it will delay the 10-second for your next replica, right? And maybe you want to do that, how that uh, parallelism means that how you want your that Docker Swarm will behave with your replicas. Parallelism to like at at the given point of time, how many replicas will it do? Whether it will, by default, I think it's one. If you want to deploy two, so it will take the two. Two will be down at the same time, and then same will be updated uh, uh, with the new image, and then it will wait for 10 seconds, and then again if you have the, let's say, 8, right, so it will do two at a time, and it will repeat 4 times. So that's what you, apart from that, you can play check the health checks, right? You want to do some health checks for your application, maybe some additional uh, ports you want to check, or maybe ping you want to check. So there are multiple dependency, or maybe the additional kind of features which we get with the deploy. So yeah, this is the main difference between these three versions, right? Default, no dedicated network; version 2, dedicated network and dependency you can define; and version 3 is almost same. Only the thing is, if you want to use your Docker stack with Docker Swarm, then you can version 3, and you will get the additional property called deploy. All right. So yeah, that was very small, and I hope it was informative, and it's a bonus video. So in next video, we will see that how we can deploy our Docker Swarm, Docker stack, right, on the Docker Swarm cluster. All right. So I'll take a leave. Please share and subscribe my video. Yeah. Thank you. Bye bye.